This is from the Daily Caller. It says, establishment media has been conspicuously silent on Hunter Biden's alleged use of the N-word in text messages obtained by the Daily Mail and reported on Tuesday. Searching NBC News, the Washington Post, CNN, and the New York Times returns no results related to the text messages. The story has been covered by the Daily Caller, Forbes, Fox News, the New York Post, and other outlets. NBC News, the Washington Post, CNN, and the New York Times did not respond to requests for comment. Just days after President Joe Biden delivered an emotional anti-racism speech in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Daily Mail published text messages where Hunter Biden allegedly called his white lawyer the N-word and talked about his penis. In one text message, Hunter Biden reportedly asked his lawyer, corporate attorney George Mazires, how much money he owed and said, N-word, you better not be charging me Hennessy rates. Mazires reportedly replied, that made me snarf my coffee. Snarf? I'm way more concerned by the use of the word snarf here than the N-word, because I don't know what that word means exactly. Hunter Biden addressed his white lawyer as the N-word with an A at the end multiple times, used phrases like true dat N-word, and bantered, I only love you because you're black. Okay. And these were text messages, I think, that date back to like 2018. And as of the writing of this Daily Caller article, this story had not been reported, as they said, in any of these mainstream media outlets. They just ignored it completely. It's not even like they reported it and then buried it, or they just tossed off a little short 2-paragraph story and then buried it. No, they've ignored it entirely. And yeah, so I'm kind of two minds on this. Because on one hand, if this was Don Jr. and his text messages saying the N-word, even, he's using the N-word here in a jovial, joking manner. And he's talking to and about a white person. Even so, we all know that if this was Don Jr. or really any other prominent conservative and they were found to have used the N-word in that context or any context, it would be a huge story and their life would be destroyed and everything else, right? We all know that. And we've been told many times by the cultural powers that be that context doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what context you use the word in. Papa John lost his job, he lost everything, and is now a pariah because he used the N-word just in quoting somebody else who used it. And in the context of using it, he was critical of the person for using it. And he lost his job for that. So, but we also know that Papa John was I don't know if he's actually a Republican, but he was a suspected Republican. So there's definitely a double standard here. That's for sure. However, it also doesn't matter at all what words Hunter Biden used in a text message exchange. I don't care at all. It does not matter. And I also have to confess to you, and I know I'm going to put myself in the minority a little bit among conservatives, and especially conservatives in media. And I've been saying this since the campaign. I don't fully understand the right's focus on Hunter Biden. I think it's a bad political strategy. I don't think it works. Because, of course, all the people on the right who are sort of like feigning offense over this, they're not really offended because they know who cares. Doesn't matter at all. But they're kind of feigning it because they're trying to make a point, and I get that. But at the same time, the focus on Hunter Biden, I think, is kind of foolish. You're not going to land any hits on Joe Biden by talking about his loser crackhead son, who's not a public official, is not in the White House officially, right? Or has not been given a job in the administration, as far as I know. Donald Trump gave a lot of his kids official jobs in the administration. Hunter Biden hasn't been given that, as far as I know. And we all understand that he's a loser. So to keep going back to this well of, look at this other loser thing that Hunter Biden did, it just doesn't, nobody cares. Yeah, the media is going to ignore it, but I'm kind of ignoring it too. And I'm not left-wing media, but simply because I don't think it matters. And whatever political advantage you think you get by talking about Hunter Biden, I don't think it's there. I said this during the campaign with the final weeks of the campaign, and it's time to make our closing argument against Joe Biden, right? And what were so many people in right-wing media doing? Their closing argument was all about Hunter Biden's laptop. And I'm not saying that that wasn't a story. I'm not saying there wasn't potentially a scandal there. I just don't think that that should have been the closing argument. And I said that, and I think I was proven right. The arguments against Joe Biden should be about Joe Biden himself, and there's a lot that can be said, and about his administration. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.